Welcome back, everybody, to Maniacal Musings. I'm Jeremy, your host, as always, on this fine night. However, today you may call me the Thunderbringer. I'm known for deflowering the maidenheads and pleasuring the goddesses, just as my wife. But let me play my misery chord for you, as I'm yours immortally, my viewers. You may ask, why do I do it as often as I do? Well, all I can tell you is I woke up this morning, dick rock hard. So if you're looking for your woman, she's hopped off. Yeah, bitch. However, my co-host, though this isn't her first time carrying the hammer of the witches through the underworld, she's a different beast when she's pleasuring the king of the woods with her blackest magic in practice. She screams, "Onward, Christian soldiers!" as she grinds against the right wing of the garden triptych. Jamie motherfucking Fowler, folks.
Woo! 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 You got it right there. There were so many things you could have said with all the titles this week. That was a good one. You chose well. You chose well.
I, truly, I had inspiration, but yeah,
A lot for
but
that
yes,
album alone.
we'll get into that. We'll fucking get into that. But folks, we're back once again to talk music. We're sorry we missed last week. Just we had no guest and we had shit come up, so things happen. But we're back this time with a guest, so we'll make up that episode at some point to you. Our guest this week, though, is Alex Mel Taylor, a politics and culture writer and blogger. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm ready to hop right into my first time. You can call me a dreamer, blooding the hounds of hell. I love puns. Highest form of humor.
And with open arms during the storm, of course, Alex.
Yes, let's get in the water here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Full speed ahead.
Jamie, I think I'm in love, but
Oh no!
fucking oof, using my own tools against me. How dare you? But I love it. I love it. Truly. Speaking of truly, but so Alex, tell us about you a little bit. What kind of writing do you do? Where do you write? All that good stuff.
So I'm on Medium. My blog is Alex Has Opinions, and I just make a big deal about stuff. My sort of like slogan is, if there's a hill out there, I've died on it. And I write very seriously about unserious issues and unseriously about very serious issues. So that's sort of my shtick. I write about politics, TV, culture, and the dumpster fire that is the world.
Truly, and one of the song I gotta stop saying truly, but one of the songs we're talking about today actually kind of has a lyric that kind of points to that. So that's perfect. That's perfect. We'll get to that though in a bit. First things first, as always, Alex. What album did you want to bring us? And I asked truly curious. I asked curiously this time. Why?
Why? I asked that so many times until I listened to it, but why?
So I'm a huge musical stan, essentially. And I'm obsessed with this musical called Epic. It's a TikTok musical. It's combining all of the brain rot of the world into one thing. Um, I also like Greek myth. So this is about the Odyssey, um, which is a very old story about a man that is trying to get home to his wife, essentially. I like the music, but that's sort of, I don't know. I just love fucking musicals. But I realize that's not everyone's that not everyone's cup of tea. But I just, I'm like, if I'm going on this show, I'm gonna pick something that I know front to cover, essentially. And I've listened to this a lot. Like, yeah, I'm obsessed with it.
It's an album that you can listen to and then hear something different every time, I can safely say. Not just for the amount of songs, but because I caught myself liking it a lot more than I thought. So bravo to you on that.
Thank you.
I actually was gonna let you go first with your review on this one, Jamie, just for reasons.
Ooh, I gotta go first. What? Okay.
You truly do.
Okay, so I wish I would have done more like background homework to get some more knowledge on this. I just have to say, I tried listening to this album in different orders and at different times, and I didn't even get through the whole thing yet because I would get sidetracked with something else, or I would get stuck on something and listen to it 2 or 3 times. So ultimately, I like to give my things that I review, books, movies, albums, whatever it may be, a 5-star review. So out of this, I struggle between, I don't know if I could safely say if it's a 3, 3.5, or a 4, but it's between there. And that's shocking because I have to say, I'm notoriously known for not liking musicals. So bravo the fucko to you. Because I really seriously don't normally dig them. So Jeremy knew how I was going to feel at first. But surprisingly, I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars.
That's high praise. I'm honored.
There's just something about, like, for not knowing where this came from and everything else, there was just something relatable, not only like when you first look at the titles to the songs, but then you start to listen to it and then you get fun and into it and you listen to it a little bit again later and you're like, okay, I can get behind this a little bit more than I thought. So I'll probably have to like figure out where this all came from and do some more digging some other time.
Oh, it is a rabbit hole. I highly recommend it.
Ooh.
See.
Uh-oh.
There's no. Well, you can think whatever you want at this point. But here's the thing: you come to a show with a host who is a Gleek, who has been seeing musicals live since he was too young to remember, and you bring him possibly one of the best musicals he's ever heard in his life.
Oh shit!
And you also bring this to a host who is a mythology buff in general, but especially in Greek mythology. So you bring me a freaking musical based on the greatest, and it's not a story, and on the greatest history of humankind ever told. It's history. It's truly history. There's been things in it that have been proven actually happened. So, I see. That's why I'm laughing at what Jamie's saying, because there's no wormholes for me in this. I know this story backwards, frontwards, sideways. Shut up your candy ass and walk away. I love the fucking Odyssey. It is one of my favorite stories of all time. One of my favorite legends of all time, because Greek myths are not stories, they're legends. It's one of the greatest legends of all time. There is so much to learn in this legend, and the fact that this hasn't been fucking made into a TV show, a movie, or a live stage performance yet truly pisses me off.
It's coming.
Because I highly expect that.
You say that with confidence. So, like, what do I have to look forward to? And maybe after the show, you might have to send me some information of what I need to do before this comes out.
So this was a sensation. This was a TikTok sensation, and it just ended like 4 months ago. So
December of 2024, the last 2 sagas came out.
Yeah. Was that 4 months ago? I'm bad at math, but
it's about 4 months ago. Yeah.
Sweet.
Depending on what day.
So they're in talks to do a musical. Like,
they need to. I will pay top dollar to go see it. That's done by the original people who sing it in the freaking audio version. Because I have never heard of Jorge Rivera Hernández, but Lin-Manuel Miranda can suck my motherfucking cock, because I found someone who was 10 times better than him.
Yep. Well, he's also sort of like gotten worse over time. Disney just like pushed him into like a content mill, and now all of his songs are done.
I mean, don't get me started on Hamilton, because I'll be here for 20 minutes doing a rant on how horrible Hamilton is based on historical fact. But I will say, I never was a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda at all. Never was really a huge fan of him. He was decent. Hamilton was okay for a one-time view. I could never watch it again. But he has become a woke machine for Disney, and I hate that shit. I have nothing against wokeness. Wokeness is fine. I don't need it pushed in my face with musicals every 5 seconds. Sorry, I just don't. I love wokeness is perfectly fine. Just don't. That's not. You should do other things besides just woke musicals. I mean, shit. Give me some musicals based on African mythology. Give me some musicals based on Indian mythology. Shit, like, come on, man. You got better skills, dude. Put it to something good. Put it to some more history shit out there besides Hamilton, where you ruined American history slightly. But
You I don't like Hamilton either. I think for completely different reasons. I find it sort of boring,
it
and
is.
I also it's okay. I don't want to go down this whole rabbit hole, but essentially I find it weird that it's like this musical that cast all of these black and brown people in the roles of all of these slave owners, and tells this weird myth of American exceptionalism in this weird time. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I Not for me.
I as a comic book fan, first and foremost, I have a real problem with when they cast characters the opposite race or gender as they are in the original media, because to me it's just you're not following the content. You're not following the original freaking content that made this famous, that made this something we love, that made as known for 300 years in fucking history. And I'm sorry, but all the characters in that freaking play were the whitest white men you could find in the history of white men. Literally.
Mhm.
Literally. And don't you think it's kind of insulting to make slave owners African American? Like that's kind of
Yeah. No,
that's kind of a backward slap in my mind. That's kind of a backward slap. Like
yeah, we agree on that point, which is I think this is one of the areas where we probably converge, because I'm fine with race bending and gender bending. I don't care, but
well
I care about what it says, right? So it's like the point you just made about the fact that these were slave owners, right? And you're putting you're trying to rebrand it to make them seem more progressive than they really were. Why? We don't need that. As your
no,
point, just
we
tell
don't.
the story of an actual what you're saying. There's all of these impressive people throughout history. Tell that fucking musical. I don't
I
need that
agree.
with Hamilton. Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean
Choir
I mean
preach.
my modern day example I would say is when I just found out that they cast Severus Snape in the Harry Potter TV series as African American. That kind of pissed me off. Look, I mean, it's a British guy. You can't do it to Alan Rickman. God fucking damn it. I'm not gonna go down this wormworhole, but
Okay.
you can't
Not
do it
Okay.
that.
not this time. No.
You can't do
Alright,
that. You can't do that to the legend Alan Rickman. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Uh, I'm
anyway,
okay.
back to this album. Back to this album. I love this album, and it took me literally 24 hours of my time at work to get through this, because I have to work at some point. So I was going back and forth in between sagas, and I only listened to it one time all the way through, but I know the story so well. Like I didn't even I was using the Wikipedia page to kind of follow along with what songs meant what, just so I had I knew what they're talking about exactly. But I know the story so well that I could pretty much pick up on it right away. But so many great singers in this, so many great voices. The lyrics were amazingly written. I love the fact that they did the whole Peter and the Wolf thing, and they had different instruments for different characters. Like that was amazing. That's
Yes.
one of the that's what I love when they do that in musicals, like when they take that original 30s Peter and the Wolf freaking format and go with it. So it's I you impressed me beyond belief, bring this to my attention, and the fact I didn't know about this sooner kind of pissed me the fuck off. But I don't follow TikTok at all, and I hate TikTok. So yeah, that's just my hate of social media. I only use social media for podcasting and for posting funny memes. But other than that, I hate social media. So yeah, you truly, I am in your debt for a long time because you introduced me to something that is one of the most amazing things I've ever heard in my life. Why this wasn't done sooner, I don't know. But I cannot, and I read that there might be some video games coming out from this, and I cannot wait to freaking play them if they do, because oh my god, I will devour those video games.
Or maybe an
But
anime.
I'm not an anime fan by nature, but I would actually watch it for this if it's a musical. If it's a musical, yes. But it's so well done, so well done. And Jorge, you have a new fan, buddy. You are. If you ever hear this, by any means, I'll try to tag you in it when the episode releases because I try to do that for all the artists anyway. But I would love to have you on the show. It would be a biggest honor I could extend to anybody. So please, if you hear this, reach out to me somehow, dude. Listen to my outro at the end. Hear where I get
For
down.
sure, we've turned a natural
out.
hater into someone who enjoyed this. So
wow,
the only thing I wish was different is, and no offense to you, Jamie, but I wish Chancey was here so I could torture him with a musical. It brings me no greater joy ever than to torture my old co-host Chancey with musicals, because he hates it more than Jamie.
Feel somewhat that way, but I think he would have probably caught himself enjoying it at times. I will be sure to keep this as like we need this as a Chancey reminder in the future. This would be a good one to make him listen to.
Yes.
Oh, he would enjoy the mythology if anything out of it, but
yes.
the guitar work was solid throughout, so I'm pretty sure he would enjoy the shit out of that.
Right.
But all right, and this is gonna be the hard part for everybody on this one. I already know that, but if you had to pick a top 5 or top whatever, because it's free tracks, I'm not gonna try to stick it to 5 because I know I didn't. But what would be your top songs off this, Alex?
Okay, so a little background. I am a little anal retentive when it comes to research and shit. So I have my top 5 written down. I was like, I gotta know. So my first one, Get in the Water. I feel like it's the climax of the entire arc. It's Odysseus meeting Poseidon, and it's just like a great cathartic moment. And I just I love it. I like the melody. I like the lyrics. The next one I like is Thunderbringer, which nice pun in the thing. I love that. I love how Zeus is portrayed like historically with easiness.
I have to say there was something with that song in the title. Initially, I was like Thunder and Lightning, which are the names for my legs, but just something fun and like these songs did give me a giggle on some of the lyrics at times, but like just where my thought was in going into the album, some of the songs I'm like giggity.
I mean, Jamie, the fact you just told me that, I now immediately assume you wrap your legs around your boyfriend's head and say, "Are you ready for the storm?"
You know what's okay? So that goes into a funny story another time of just like how his friends give him a hard time about the beginning of our relationship. It has to do with thunderstorms, so that is fitting.
Anyways, got the thunder clapping.
I
love it. I fucking love it.
All right, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. No, I just love how sneaky Thunderbringer is. Yeah. I like Little Wolf. Same energy. I like that it's about the fight happening between Telemachus and the other dude I don't remember.
And Antiquus.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. I like the slowdown. I like the background with introducing Athena. I like Warrior of the Mind. It's my number 4 because I just like Athena as a character. I follow, what was her name? Tegan something, on YouTube. I've known her for a while. I think she's a great singer. And then Monster, the last one. I just, that song just hits. Like the first time I listened to that song gave me fucking chills as he's reckoning with the fact that he's gonna be a shit to get home. Love it. So that's my top 5.
Yes, I will say that I do love that they auditioned for this on TikTok in order to find the people who would do the roles. That is amazing, and that's a great use of social media to find amazing singers that are not known to the world yet.
Yeah.
So hats off to Jorge for that one. But Jamie, what were your top 5 if you have it for this.
Okay, because I follow the rules, Jeremy, and I really try to stick it to a top 5 with a few honorable
There's
mentions.
40 fucking songs!
I know!
What do you want me to do?
You would do it with an album with like 5 songs. You'd be like, I need a top 20. Okay?
Oh, the shade. I fucking love it.
Right?
How's that logical?
Exactly. See? So anyways, going on. When I listened to this, to be quite honest with you, like I said, I did a little from different directions here and there, so I would try to listen to something different instead of trying to listen to it in a row. But most of my top 5 probably did come from what would be the beginning of the Spotify list. I do have to say, number 5 is sponsored by Thunder and Lightning, but it's actually Storm. Number 4, Full Speed Ahead. And I really suck because I had notes on it and I left them at work. So this is only my top 5.
I do love how they kept like using the Full Speed Ahead thing throughout the whole album.
Yeah,
like they kept bringing that chorus back throughout the whole album.
I did notice the trends here and there. I did notice that. But then number 3 is Keep Your Friends Close. I don't, like I said, my notes are at work. So number 2 is Open Arms, but I do highly remember number 3, or my number 1 song. To me, I tried to be a joke at first and say this is my 1, 2, and 3 song because I really liked the beat. I just liked the vocals in it. I liked there was something with the dynamic in it. So Puppeteer.
Yes.
There was something about that song that I'm like, I could jam to this. Like that, and I really wish that I would have taken better notes overall and dug into more of this, but I can just at work now. I'm at a different job to where it's like I zone in differently on my paperwork, and this is the right kind of zoning music. So I found it to be enjoyable altogether because whether it was something musically or something with the vocals, it did keep me quite entertained. I knew nothing else about it, so I only could purely go off of the music. So,
all right. Well,
those are good tracks.
Here's the thing. This is 40 tracks. Normal albums have about 20 at most, and that's pushing it even for most albums. So, normally top 5 out of 20 is about a quarter. I did a top 10 because it's a quarter. And because there's no way I was going to get a top 5 out of this and be able to stick it at 5. There's no fucking way.
I kind of wondered if you were going to have like a top 5 and an honorable mention of 50.
No. I have a top 10 with one honorable mention.
There you go.
That honorable mention is The Horse and the Infant because it's an amazing way to open it. And the beginning of the Odyssey is one of the darkest fucking moments in Greek mythology. Well, that doesn't have to do with Zeus. Everything that's to do with Zeus is dark because Zeus is a rapey motherfucker. But my number 10 was Warrior of the Mind because that was fucking awesome. I love that part where he gets the powers from the gods to face a god, very God of War style. My number 9 was Wouldn't You Like, very catchy, very sing-alongy. Same with my number 8, Remember Them. It was because we do remember all these heroes from Greek mythology for those who follow it, because they teach us the lessons we need to learn in life. My number 7 was Puppeteer, because amazing song. And as a lover of the Full Moon Features Puppet Master series, I had to love anything that's called Puppeteer. My number 6 was Thunderbringer, because Luke Holt, I have never heard of you. You are welcome on the show too. I've never heard of you, but oh my god, your voice is fucking incredible. For Zeus, oh my god. Talk about being half fucking hard at work. Oh my god. Fucking Luke Holt. Ugh. That man's voice will give a man a boner. Jesus. But my number 5 was The Underworld, because it kind of ties into my album for this week, and I love that. And it's a very gothic-y sounding, which, if you're going to talk about the underworld in Greek mythology, you better make it fucking gothic, because Hades is one goth motherfucker. But, and actually, that kind of pissed me off that Hades wasn't in this at all, but I know he's not really in the Odyssey to begin with at all, so, yeah, it is what it is. My number 4 was Ruthlessness, because, actually, you're going to see this trend in my top 4, basically. because the best part about the original Odyssey legend to me is Odysseus has changed from realizing I can't be a nice guy anymore. I gotta be a fucking man and stand up to in order to get to where I need to go. I gotta fucking be able to punch some heads in and slice some throats. So my number 4 is Ruthlessness. My number 3 is Odysseus because I kind of felt like the 2 final tracks of this could have been combined into one, and I feel like Odysseus should have been the final piece in this set. Like Odysseus is my defying gravity in a way. It's my defying gravity of this because it's his fucking swan song. It's his. This is what I need to do.
Okay,
These
good.
these motherfuckers are going to try to kill my son and rape my wife. I am gonna fucking slaughter them all with passion. Like that's what he needs to do. So Odysseus was fucking
As you do.
as you do. I mean, if someone tried to do it to my kids and wife, I'd fucking I'd be bashing heads in for fucking hours. But my number 2 was Different Beast because we are the man-made monsters, the ones who will conquer. Oof, that line sent chills through my spine because it's true. In this world, we become man-made monsters because we have to be. We have to be because man makes us that way. So I am the nicest guy in the world. I've never been in a fight in my life, but man had made me be an asshole for many years of my life because of men. So fuck yeah. And the number 1 track, the number 1 fucking track is 150 fucking percent Monster. Monster is it's that climax. It's that holy fuck, I'm about to come. Look what I became. That's what that's what it is. Like it's like that's the fucking moment. That's the fucking moment where this whole musical turns around and it becomes like I'm getting the fuck home to my wife. Yeah. So I love it. I love this fucking musical. I will listen to it again at some point. If I ever have a 2-hour car ride, I will gladly put this the fuck on and annoy the shit out of my wife and kids. But it would be my pleasure. So thank you, Alex, for introducing us to this. Thank you. My highest. This may almost be my favorite album someone brought on the show in 100+ episodes.
Fuck yes, awesome.
Ooh, strong words there. Strong words. It.
God.
And I mean, I found out, and I found albums in this show before that I fucking love that guest brought, but this one, oof, blew me away.
Thank God I'm not a narcissist, or this would go straight to my head. You know, just.
But would you even admit it if you were? I mean,
this album went straight to my head. I'll let you choose which one. But yeah, I see that look at me.
Or are you a Gemini? Do you have 10 personalities?
Oh, you are right. I actually am. But Gemini indeed. My birthday's Nevada. May 26th. For all those there who want to send me anything, but so yeah, I am actually a Gemini. Holy shit, you're right on with that. But well, Jamie, I regrettingly, and probably more regrettingly in a minute, it's time to do your album. God help us.
I know, isn't it great? You really hate it. Oh, it's great.
We'll get into it.
So I did this on purpose, 1,000% on purpose. I was on my phone like, okay, Mike, tell me when to stop. And then I was like going through all the albums because I couldn't decide. So I stopped. And then I was like, tell me stop again. And I stopped on that one. Okay. I know nothing about this artist. I know nothing about the album. I just went in with a fresh mind of I want to do something completely random. So I decided to go with this thing called Life by August Alsina, I believe is how you say the last name. Good R&B from 2015. So I at least went with timing wise, but completely random. So you're so welcome.
Blessed by the gods.
As always, I'll let our guests give the review of your album first before I
go for it.
Before I take out my dissection kit.
Okay. So this album is mid to me. It's like half of it I like, and the other half I'm like ill, if that makes sense. Like it's there are some times where I'm listening to the song and I'm just like, you were so fucking close to doing something to like releasing a bop and you just didn't do it. And then there were some that were good. So I'm gonna go with my top five. I guess I'm gonna go up from
Well,
five to
hold off on those for a second. Top fives after reviews, because
oh shit. Okay. Yeah,
I
it's
gotta get my boxing gloves first before you give your top five.
okay. Put your boxing gloves on, Thunderbringer. Through the ringer.
Damn.
It's time to make a storm out of this mess. Woo! What was your rating on this, Jeremy? Tell me how you really felt out of 5 stars.
Actually, shit. I never gave a rating to Epic. I just realized that. I apologize. My rating for Epic is 10 out of 5 stars. But
I kind of figured
for
it was a 20 out of 5 stars. I mean, come on.
I
I
wasn't.
figured.
I can give double. I can give quadruple for anything. But that's just unlogical. But this so-called album by August Alsina, or whatever the fuck his name is. I never heard this guy in my life, and I know why. But I also start off by saying I hate fucking 2000s and 2010s R&B. It is garbage. R&B was an amazing genre in the 80s and 90s and 70s, but they just ruined it over the last 20 years. I will say that. And there are elements of this album that I mean, I went into this not like I went into this knowing I wasn't gonna like it. So I was truly trying to find something I actually liked about it.
But
And
you went in not even knowing anything
no,
about it.
I went in knowing I wouldn't like it just because it's R&B. I saw it was R&B, and that's all I needed to fucking hear. And it was from 2015. I was like, oh fuck me, just put the lube on and shove it up. But it's.
I get it. It's not your
I
jam.
mean, literally bend over and just fucking lube it up. But
Lube is
it's
supposed to make it easier.
it didn't make it easier.
Exactly.
It didn't make it easier. But there were elements of this I enjoyed. I got a top 5 out of it, even though I didn't think for a hot minute I was going to. Yeah, I got top 5. There's no honorable mentions in this shit, but I got a top 5. I had to stretch it a little bit to find that top 5, but I almost didn't have time to listen to this album, and I wouldn't perfectly find that if that was the case. But I did make it all the way through. There are elements of it I like, but I agree with Alex 100%. He had opportunities to make songs that would have been legendary. He truly did. He was almost onto it at certain points, but he just dropped the ball and was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'm gonna go out and smoke some weed or something. Like that's literally what I think of this guy. Like he just wanted to drop the ball and go play something else. Like it's like when you're doing your homework and you're getting to a really good point where you're about to make your point in the essay, and then you're just like, I feel like playing video games. And then you lose that point and you go back and finish it off and get a D in your assignment. You got a D, motherfucker. This album is about like a 1.5, and I'm being gracious with that shit.
Hey, don't blame it on weed. Some of my best essays have been.
Oh, but I'm not blaming it on weed because I've done most of my best work in college while stoned, or drunk. But I can't tell you how many times I went to class with a fucking Pepsi cup full of beer and I did a better job than I did sober. But it's just the way it goes. But I mean, this album is sorely a D with like I'll give it a 1.5 just because I'm being a little gracious. But fuck no, I could never listen to any. There's not one song in this fucking album I put in my like list and think. Actually, no. Okay, I take that back. There's one song I put on my like list, but only because of some lyrics. But other than that, no. There's nothing on this album I ever would want to go back to and touch again. I think if Chancey was here, he might have actually threw this album out the window. But
I don't know that I would have gone that far because I was shocked by the quality of some of the. I really didn't know if it was a guy or a girl or anything about this album whatsoever. So I went in with a fresh mind. As I'm listening to it, I decided when I was like, okay, there's some features. Didn't see who with yet. When I Wikipedia'd it and got done listening to it, my 3.5 stars, which still surprises me because, like I said, I didn't know anything about this. The Rolling Stone and a couple other sources actually gave it something similar. It could have been a lot worse. There is that feeling though of he cut himself short. He sold himself short at points that it's like there's more you could have said. There's more you could have done with that. That is definitely like nomination quality if you would have done something with it. There was potential with that album. I'm not saying it's the best, but I was shocked at how much I actually kind of.
Yes, you're so right.
I'll put it this way. Thinking about this album right now, I need a cigarette. And not in the good, I just had sex and I'm on a fucking high. I need a cigarette.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm so stressed the fuck out over this album. I need a cigarette because I'm pissed. That's what it is.
But what's awesome though is Jeremy, normally you feel the way that the majority of the crowd does, and I'm the opposite. So it's kind of nice to see that you're on the other end because, like I said, I was shocked to see other sources that actually agreed with me because I thought this was a rare find. This wasn't on purpose. And it actually wasn't too bad. It's just that potential of I know there's more that could have been tapped into. I might look into this artist and see what more he's done since then. Maybe he's grown since 2015.
I can see that.
Jamie, before I let you give your top 5, the only thing I will say, next time you want to bring an R&B artist, bring some D'Angelo and I'll fucking get stripping. But fuck.
No, I really enjoyed though my little randomness on that. I might have to do that again with some other album listening, whether I share it with you guys or I do it on my own. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars for me. So that's how I feel about that. You want me to dip into my 5 already?
Dip in.
Okay.
Get 5 on it. Get 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. My honorable mentions I actually have this time was Been Around the World. And I think we can all say there was familiarity with the lyrics and some of the beats to other songs.
Excuse me? One motherfucker who guessed on that song, if you're going around the world with him, you better fucking bring a lawyer because you're going to need it.
I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking about in general. It had something similar other than that song.
I can't support anything that motherfucker's on.
Not with Chris Brown. Not with him at all. Actually, with a completely other song, completely other timing. Not Chris Brown. Period.
He's on the track.
Back with P. Diddy. Back when it was Puff Daddy, is what I'm referring to.
Oh shit!
I don't know that song, but okay.
And before, anyways, so my number 5 was hip hop. My number 4, Why I Do It. Some of these lyrics to the songs didn't necessarily match where I thought the song was going to go to, but I did actually enjoy this number 3 song of mine was Job. There was something that I was in the middle of doing my work today and that actually kind of perked me up a little bit. Dreamers, my number 2. But my number 1 was Song Cry, and I think a lot of the lyrics just kind of were relatable, not to me necessarily, but just in general to people. So I liked the lyrics more than I liked the song. I feel like there could have been more to. There could have been something done differently musically with that song that would have made it a bigger hit. I feel, but it's still my number 1. So.
Not like Chris Brown, but I'll touch on that when I get to my turn.
No, anyways, another honorable mention I forgot to mention, though, was actually American Dream, because I really enjoyed the beat on that song.
All the beats in this fucking album are deplorable. But, Alex.
Blah, blah.
Shit.
What were your top 5 off this album, Alex?
I just want to clarify, when I said it was mid, I meant like, it's like average. It's
like if you get a bag of weed and you say it's Charlie Brown. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess honorable mention for me, Job. I felt like it was like it could have gone in 2 different directions and it tried to do neither of them and merge them together, where it was either going in the like, wow, hustle culture sort of sucks recently, and doesn't this suck? Or it can go in the exceptionalism route of I'm amazing, and it just merged both of them, and it was really weird, and I liked half of the song, and then the other half, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why are these
like that why in
song?
The road? Like, where, like, I'm trying to go this direction, but I also want to go that direction, so how can we make it work? You can't.
You can't.
Yeah. I felt like a lot of his music was like that. Number 5 for me
Right.
was Dreamer. I I like that it told a story. It didn't sound musically like this at all, but Tina Turner's like private dancer, like in the sense of like telling the story of these like two. In that case, it was one sad person, but this is like two sad people that life has sort of like sucked up a little bit. But it felt real judgy. It's like it's like a real fucking judgy song to me, where I'm just like, ah, yes, these people and their lives sort of suck and they just can't dream. And it was one of those where, again, it felt like it was going in and out and couldn't decide what it wanted. Number 4 was Encore. I just thought it sounded okay. Um, Number 3 for me was Song Cry. Um, I liked what it was trying to do in the sense of like, a lot of men are taught not to express their emotions and to hold that
Mhm.
in, and that's fucking toxic. And he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna feel emotion through my music." And I thought that was sweet. I just felt like it didn't quite go as far as it needed to go to really like stand out. I'm like, I've seen this a lot. Number 2, Would You Know? For me, I know Been Around the World was supposed to be the bop for the album, but Would You Know, I felt like was a better bop, just for me. And my number 1 is actually First Time, which is like a fucking song. And
Oh,
it's about this guy fucking this girl, and I thought it was really sweet. Like, it actually felt like his most genuine in the entire album, where, like, Song Cry, I felt like he wanted it to be his most genuine, but to me, First Time felt like his most genuine, where he's just like, "I love this girl." And I like that. I like that a lot. It was genuine.
I do like
see,
your view on that because I'm just reviewing some of the lyrics as we've been going over the songs in general, and yeah, there's something where I could see he's just not hitting that mark, but he's trying.
Yeah.
Not bad, but he's
yeah,
trying.
yeah. Well, those who try but don't succeed get not meeting expectations in school nowadays. But
Damn.
and the great Robert Frost once said he wrote a great poem called "The Path Not Taken." This motherfucker should took that fucking path and not wrote this album. But my number 5 was Job, simply because it's realistic, it's reality. Like, I'm just here trying to do my job. Like, it's fucking true. Like, I don't feel like it today, but I'm still trying to do my job. Like, yeah, okay, we've all had that day. Could the song could have been 100% better? Yes. My number 4 was First Time, which Alex basically touched on the thing for that because my first time was fucking bullshit. So this song, like, yeah, I wish my first time could have been more special. I fucking get that 100%. It was like, yeah, that's just what it is. So I 100% hit that. I do. That's the only thing I'll give credit to this motherfucker for is he talks about men having emotions in places where most male singers won't touch. I Unlike Chris Brown, but I like that. I like that. So, I respect him for that. I respect him for that. My number 3 was "Look How Far I've Come" because I can relate to that with my job now. Like, where I came the last 2 years of this job, I fucking moved up substantially, and that song kind of made me think about that. So it gave me some feelings. My number 2 was "Why I Do It," which I knew exactly where this motherfucker was going with that shit, and I loved it. Yeah, I actually loved that song. I woke this morning, dick rock hard. If you're looking for your woman, she is topped off. Like, that's fucking genius writing right there. I'll give him that. That's genius writing. Uh, who the fuck does that song? Somebody, I forget who it is, but one of my favorite rappers has a lyric where it's like, "Oh yeah, it's 3 6 Mafia." Like, fucking get off my dick and tell you bitch to come here. Like, I fucking like that. It reminded me of that. So like, it was that kind of lyric. So
Nice.
my number 1 was "Song Cry" because Alex touched on what I wanted to touch on it with, basically. But yeah, I mean, men are not supposed to cry. That's we're My good friend Harvey is famous for saying, "Rub some dirt on it." That's what we were all taught growing up, and it's true. It's what we were taught growing up. Rub some dirt on it. Get the fuck over it. Boys don't cry. And it's not true. I personally don't think I actually had a real emotional cry until I was like fucking 25, just because of that's the way I was conditioned.
Shit.
And my father was not like that. My father was not the kind of father. Like he would have been fine with it. It's just that's where society was. So not the hate of my father, R.I.P. But that's the way society was. So that's the way I went with it. So I mean, now I cry at every fucking Disney Pixar movie my kids watch. So it's just the way it goes. But yeah. So song cry was like I feel that because like I wouldn't cry, but I would let the music I listen to cry for me. So that's 100% true. That's 100% fucking true. I respect the points you're trying to get across. They just could have been done so much better, so much better. Like,
Yes.
like it feels like he gave this and part of me wonders, did he do it better? But his record label was like, we don't like this. Let's turn it back a little. Like, part of me wonders that. But because record labels will do that shit to you.
There are a
So
lot of creative differences that they do hold back on certain things. So that does make sense now that you say it in that aspect. I guess I never thought about that.
I mean, look. As much as I hate to use this as a fucking example, look at Taylor Swift. How she released every album she ever did in her own versions because her record label wouldn't let her do her own work. So it's. I mean, I hate to use that as an example, but it's the best example I have at this point.
True.
But
Yeah.
and I mean, and it's. I mean, 1.5 stars for Zom Dude. But if you ever release a version where it's you want to do better and you couldn't, I'll listen to that album and I'll see what I think. I'll give you that. I'll throw that out there into the world just to see if manifestation can happen. But my hopes, not high. Now that we got rid of that filth, it's time to talk about some good filth. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I see you want to bring a musical about mythology. And so I went down one of my favorite paths in the world. What albums do I know that have to do with mythology and storytelling? Because I know a lot of them. It took me a good long time. Well, like 5 minutes, but I can run through a lot of albums in my head in 5 minutes. But it took me a good 5 minutes of Spotifying my ass off to find the album I really wanted to bring that I thought that Alex would appreciate the storytelling and mythology of. And unfortunately, I brought a lot of those already, so I couldn't do that. So I was like, fuck. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, immediately, Cradle Filth came to mind. I started thinking of other artists at the same time, and I was like, fuck it. I guess I'll stick with Cradle Filth because they are storytelling and mythology telling gods. So I was like, what album haven't I brought yet that is mythology based to some degree? And I was like, you know what? I will bring Hammer of the Witches because it is one of the best albums Cradle Filth has ever done. And it came out in a wave of their newer albums after like their golden days. And a lot of their albums at that point were not loved by their true hardcore fans. This album changed that. This album, everybody turned around and was like, they're back. They're back in their full prime. And I was not disappointed when I listened to this album today. I literally was like one step away from fucking going nuts with drumming to my desk at work and shit on this shit. Like, I love this album. I wish I could have seen them do this whole album live. I was telling my coworker today because they are in Massachusetts 2 weeks from this Sunday, and I am about to go beg my wife later tonight to let me go fucking get out of the house and see it. Because I haven't seen them live since 2009, and they are phenomenal live. So I am praying and hoping I could do that. But Hammer of the Witches was their comeback album, and it's fucking, in my opinion, phenomenal. There's so much great shit about this. I'll get to more of it in the songs, but Hammer of the Witches is just musicasm, pure musicasm in my mind.
So out of 5 stars, are you giving it like 30?
It's a pure 5 out of 5. Honestly,
Of course.
honestly, it's a pure 5 out of 5. I couldn't go any lower on this album. They have other albums I could, but this album I couldn't go lower than 5 because there's literally not a track I would skip on this album anytime I listen to it in full. So, but I'm dying to know, Alex, what did you think of my masterful idea to bring this?
So I want to preface this by saying that I don't really listen to metal music, right? It just I have trouble processing it, like the speed of like the words, and words are like really important to me. But I can recognize that musically, I liked what this album was doing. Um, Actually, I really liked some of the tracks that just had no words in them. Like they made it into my top five. Um, I love witchy shit. Um, have such mixed feelings about Hammers of the Witches, the book, not the song. Um,
Oh, the book is legendary for good and bad reasons, but yeah.
yeah, it's led to like
And for
killing of
for
many
those who
women.
for those who don't know what we're talking about, if you're not a history buff, it's, and I'm gonna fuck this up, but Malaris Maleficum. It's a book from the 11th or 13th century, basically demeaning women and putting them in their place back in the olden days. So, and it translates to Hammer of the Witches.
It and more specifically, it was about like how to identify witches, and like
Yeah.
was in some cases used as a pretext to kill like tens of thousands of people. Like the witch, when people talk about witch hunts, that word gets thrown around a lot. But in like the Middle Ages, there were actual witch hunts,
Oh God, yeah.
and this is
I
what happened.
on my paranormal show, I had a witch hunt, a Salem witch trial / witch hunt expert on the show, and we dove into this for an hour, and it's truly, 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 for those who didn't listen in history class or didn't have good history teachers, horrifying what they did to people they considered witches in the Middle Ages up to the 19th century.
Yeah,
So, I
but
mean, even to this day in the Middle East. But yeah,
yeah, people are still anyway. Random people are still killed for witches all over the world. Um, like in Africa, I think there's been like a couple of cases in the United. Anyway, tangent. You can tell that I love witch stuff because I just went on this long fucking tangent to say
well,
that I'm
oh,
giving
I
this a
didn't.
3 out of 5 stars because I think it's good, but it's just not my genre. So
I
I'm like,
I
yeah,
I was gonna say the other reason I did bring this is because I happened to see in your profile something about Wicked, so I was like, okay, she'll appreciate the witch part of this then. But and I think if you actually went back and listened to the album, but like on Spotify, I had like the lyrics showing at the same time, you would probably freaking give it a 5 out of 5 once you saw the lyrics.
okay, I'll have to do that because I like punk. I like Bikini Kills, but for whatever reason, I metal I've just never been able to get into. Anyway, that's sort of my take on it. I I'm curious to get into the top 5 and think what people thought, but I will toss it over.
Mhm.
Jamie, I know you were a little excited about this one, so I'm dying to hear what you thought of Hammer of the Witches.
So my thing is I've seen Cradle of Filth live. I've been to a lot of shows, but my old self would have been a little more excited about this album than myself now. The sensory overwhelming when it comes to how the lyrics are delivered. Getting into it on Spotify and other platforms to see what it is that a little bit more into it helps. That's where myself enjoyed the songs a little bit more because musically I really enjoyed it, but vocally I could do a little differently now. Live, I think I completely didn't pay attention to any of the lyrics, and I was way more
Oh,
obsessed with the guitars and bass and all of that going on at the same time. So in person it's intense and it's very enjoyable. I
under,
have to say that.
under, understanding what Danny Phelps says live is nearly impossible.
Well, understanding what they're saying on the album's damn near impossible too,
No,
especially when
I
it's a sensory
if
overload.
if if you are wearing headphones
Sometimes,
and
yeah.
okay, well, all right, I'll preface it this way because this is the way Chancey explained one of his bands to me, and I kind of got it after a while. If you listen to him enough, you can start to understand what he's saying when
Right.
he actually like word for word. You have to
Right.
get used to his voice and to his growls and grunts and kind of
And then,
you have to
but
get used to him.
unfortunately, it's like this isn't the type of album I'm going to do that with. But I did enjoy a lot of certain aspects of various songs that really got me to listen to the song more than twice. Honestly, sometimes not in a row every time, but I listened to this more than once. I did though give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars because I'm borderline on how I feel about it. And I don't know. I don't hate this album. It's just not. It's something my old self would have loved. It's just something I've moved past.
Give us that spice.
See,
Yes.
they switched female vocalists for this album too, and I believe her name is Lindsay Schoolcraft. I could be 100% wrong on that, but I believe that's her
that
name.
last name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think it's Lindsay Schoolcraft. She hasn't really done much else, but her vocals in this album fucking rip at my soul. They rip at my soul for being so beautiful. And
Right.
I mean, Danny Filth is just a rock god. So
yeah, because it was
an
Ashley before that, so that makes sense. Yeah, you got the name right. You're fine. And Caroline,
yeah, I mean,
that was another name I was thinking of.
I mean, no Cradle of Filth female lyricist will ever be Sarah Jezebel. None of them ever will, but she was a legend among legends. So
I'd have to look up what years I seen them. To be quite honest, I can't remember. They weren't the headliners, which was surprising when because it was Slipknot and other shows that I went to. But they are headline material. I will say that
they're headlining a metal concert a metal festival right now that's touring. But
right. That's why I'm just like back then when I saw them, they were still growing, and I just can't remember what singer they had at the time. I have to look it up.
Which, when I saw them back in 2009, there was no female singer on stage with them, but they also had Septic Flesh opening for them, which was pretty fucking awesome. But yes. I discovered Septic Flesh that day. But a top 5 in this one was just fucking impossible. It was just fucking impossible to just do a top 5. So I got a top 10 just because it's Cradle of Filth, and this album is a fucking blessing.
Because you never follow the rules.
You were right, Jamie. He could do a top 20 out of a top 5.
No, yeah, he always will. He'll never follow the rules, though he said them.
When you make the rules, you can break them. But
no, that's what I like to say.
And Chancey used to pull a Jeremy all the time and fucking take whole albums out. That's just the way we do. When you really love something, that's the way you gotta do it. But
yeah, I just like to give you shit because it's always your albums, and you're like, I have a top 50.
Oh, they're fucking good albums. What can I say? But my number, and not always, because it's when I bring older albums from like the 70s and 80s I don't really know. Like I'll easily have a top 5 and nothing else, but because I don't know them. But this album I've listened to for the last decade in my car nonstop when it comes up on Spotify. Like I fucking have all these songs on my like list. So, but my number 10 is Enshrined in Crematoria, and my number 9 is Yours Immortally. Just beautiful songs. I really don't have any other notes on those. My number 8 was The Vampire at My Side because it has the sickest guitar riffs in the whole fucking album. The guitar is incredible in that song. My number 7 is Onward Christian Soldiers because it's kind of poking at an old hymn that was written back in like the 13th century and making fun of it. But my number 6 is where it gets interesting because this was hard. My top 6 was really hard to fucking pick. But the number 6 is easily Deflowering the Maidenhead, Displeasuring the Goddess because of the lyrics. A world of mass congestion smothered in the waste of late Eden. Like, the lyrics in that song are just fucking... They make you think. They make you think, and they're 100% right about the things they say in that song. My number 5 is the title track, Hammer of the Witches. I love that track. Like, that was the single they released before the album came out, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal from the second I heard it. My number 4 is Right Wing of the Garden Triptych because the female vocals are fucking fire. Truly fire. I mean, every one of these songs has that beautiful, harmonious, non-metal music in it too, which is like it's almost like the church music or the symphony music, which is fucking amazing. My number 3 is Blackest Magic in Practice. That song is just, there's not 1 second of that song I don't enjoy listening to. I can listen to it every day and not get sick of it. My top 2, ironically enough, are the bonus tracks. Because my number 2 is Misery Chord. Because the piano in it really makes me think of like their Damnation in a Day dual album they did back in the early 2000s. It reminds me of like that era of their music. And my number 1 is King of the Woods. Because when they get to the fucking chorus in that, and Danny and Lindsay are doing like their dual singing, like it's just fucking pure musicgasm, like fucking shoot against your car while you're driving. Like, oh my god, it's fucking amazing. Like, I mean, Cradlefield is one of the best metal bands of all time, and not many people disagree with me on that. So this is why. This is fucking why. There's a reason they've been active for 30 fucking years and they don't get bad. Their new album that just dropped about Valkyries is fucking Screaming of the Valkyries is fucking fire. It's fucking fire. That's why I want to see them live, because the new album is fucking fire. But what were your top 5, Alex? I'll shut up now.
No, never shut up. We're on a
Ask
podcast. Never stop
Jamie, I don't.
talking.
Ask
He
Jamie, I
does it,
don't.
but don't. Yep, sometimes you gotta pause. I keyed.
Kidding is the best. Okay, so I number 5, Blackest Magic. I do like the words in it. So my favorite video game, not my, I don't know if it's my favorite, but a video game I like a lot is Diablo 2.
Never got into that series. Never got into it. That's my fault.
You're all good, but it has a very similar, like the aesthetic is similar in terms of like the haunting sort of demonic. And I kept like thinking back to Diablo 2 and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Diablo 2 probably was inspired from Cradle of Filth, not the other way around. So yeah, Blackest Magic. My number 4 was Blooding the Hounds of Hell. Loved it. No words, but I just found it haunting. I liked, for my number 3, Hammer of the Witches. Number 2, again, no words, The Monstrous Sabbat. I don't know if I said that correctly. I just fucking chills. Like anything where I feel like I can summon a malignant entity, I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Like I will
like challenging them or be like, let's go do some shit. Let's do this. Like gives you that power like that.
Yeah. I would love to fight a demon. Like that'd be great. Like
I'd step up. I would.
Yeah. Everyone says they'd fight evil, but when you're given the chance. And then my number 1 was Right Wing of the Garden of, oh god, I know you just said it and I fucking looked it up before, but I'm gonna butcher it. Triptych.
There you go.
Yes, and for the same reasons as Jeremy, like those fucking women vocals are just so fucking haunting, and it just felt the most witchy to me in the entire album. Like I'm like, yes, this is the song I'll play when I'm assembling my coven, essentially. So those are my top 5.
I like how this week it seems like the top 5s for everybody's kind of been intertwining, but me and Jeremy a little bit more, which is kind of nice. I do have to say, for a 2.5 star rating on this, I actually have 2 honorable mentions. My first one, Blooding the Hounds of Hell. The no words factor, but because I teetered with this almost being like within my top 3. So it's kind of a floating favorite is what I want to call it. My other one is Enshrined in Crematoria. I don't know why, just really enjoyed it. There was something I think when I looked over the album at first, I was intrigued, but I think about midway through the song, I became more intrigued into the rest of the albums. That's an honorable mention for number 5, though. I had just, and I have no problem with anybody that listens to other kinds of music or whatever they have, but I was listening to Onward Christian Soldiers and found myself jamming out while somebody else was listening to their Christian music and some other stuff. So I found that to be quite ironic and fun. Number 4 was Deflowering the Maidenhead, Displeasuring the Goddess.
Yes.
I think the title in itself says a lot there. It was an entertaining song. I can at least put it that way. Number 3 is Hammer of the Witches. I just kind of feel like that's a given. I almost felt like no, because that's towards the middle end of it. I almost did the intro song as my number 3, but I just Hammer of the Witches stuck with me a little bit more. And number 2 is it Misericord? Is that how you say that? Something like that. Anyways, I really loved the beats, the way the hook feels into the chorus, the way it just kind of, I don't know, it trapped me into a different kind of beat entertainment in the middle of the song, so I enjoyed it.
Nice.
And then number 1, the start of this song gave me a slight tinge to, I'm hoping you've seen Wayne's World before. Have you, Alex?
It has been forever. Wait, is Wayne's World the one where they time travel, or is it the one where they're at the video store?
No, that Wayne's World is where they have a show in their parents' basement, and then they summon like a concert, and they summon like meeting new people and like just doing all sorts of crazy shit.
Shit, no, I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen it? Wayne's World with Michael Myers and Dana Carvey.
Like, I
And
love Michael Myers.
and they go to Alice Cooper, and it's great. Even Wayne's World 2 is great. But anyways, in Wayne's World 1, the song Foxy Lady comes on, and there was something about the beginning of my number 1 choice that really like brought me there for a second, but it turned out to be a lot more entertaining than that song, which is Blackest Magic in Practice.
Yes.
That was, I guess I would have thought a few of the other songs would have been my highlight to the album, but that actually was my takeaway, was that song. So
Shit.
even though it was a half-ass rating in the beginning, Jeremy, I still kind of liked it.
Our number
My old
3s
self
were the
would've-
same.
Huh?
Our number 3s were the same. We both did Hammers of Witches.
That is
Number
true.
3.
And I feel like, and Jeremy and I had the same number 1 on my album, and I think a couple others, we all kind of intertwined on a few. The only one I think was going to be hard for us to be anywhere close to the same on was your album, but you gave us a lot of room to move there. And I did end up writing down, I forgot that I had a couple other songs with your album that I'm like, forgot to write those down once, because I keep a little notebook myself. This way I can refer back to music and try to remember my favorites and try to dig into it again later. And I feel like I'm going to probably dig into these again. All 3, Jeremy. All 3. Including my Crapnacious one, okay?
Like, this thing called Life was like, it was so close. It was so close to being good.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm intrigued with wanting to know more, wanting to hear more and see if he got any better, see if there was anything that I'm missing. I'll have to dig in, because like it was one of those random where I just like I started scrolling, and then I scrolled up and I scrolled down again and waited for him to say stop, and then I did it again to pick the album, and my finger was right close to another one, but I was like, nope, this August person sounds okay.
Yeah, no, to spoil it a little bit, I don't think it gets better.
I don't know that it does, but you never know.
Because I think people, I actually have heard of his most recent album, and it was criticized for the same shit. People said like, oh, the lyrics are very personal, but the production's not as good. Like he doesn't quite, I don't know.
It's almost like he belongs behind the scenes, maybe as the writer and the behind the everything. Like he's got the talent, but there's just something. I don't know if he's just not maybe finding the right recordings team and producer, but he's only 32. Dang.
Shit.
Okay. So he's young. He still has room to go, but I mean, I'll have to look into him a little bit more. See what this guy's about. Very interesting here. Jeremy's just running off on us. Just leaving in the middle of me talking about his
Apologies. I heard everything you said.
I know, but I was talking about your album, and I was nice.
I heard you. I heard it. I heard every single word.
You're only going to be banished to hell for 500 years.
Yeah, only.
That was already going to happen, so come the fuck on. But, well, folks, we discussed these albums 3. I'm glad my album got a little bit of love. And we will be back next week with 3 more albums, but we want to thank our guest Alex for coming on because it's been an amazing show. And I got to learn about a musical I fucking love. So hell yes.
Woo!
But Alex, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Alex Has Opinions on Medium. You can just also type in Alex Mel Taylor. I'm very Googleable. I'm very Bingable. I'm very Firefox Chromeable. I'm out there. I also, if you like steamy romance novels, I have a romance book, ebook and regular book. It's called The Bubble We're In, and it's a pandemic romance novel. So check that out as well on Barnes & Noble and Amazon and wherever books are sold.
I'm going to have to look into that. Like, I love that. I like how you say I'm Googleable. Like,
I'm so Googleable.
I can be found, bitches. Come find me.
Well, Jamie, where can they find you?
Well, as we've previously discussed, if you fuck around and find out, you can find me on the Book of Faces. I do also sometimes drop in on the Bracket Bastards. We're normally on Sundays and on Spotify, but I am here with Jeremy rocking it out. I'm sometimes on Snappy Chatty, the Tiki Talkie kind of. I don't know, Instagram kind of too, but the Book of Faces is really where you're going to get the most from Jamie. Yep, that's about it.
And you can find both your musers on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot. He likes to put all our shows out there. He's a bipedal Sasquatch trained by Arcturians to use media. Don't know why, don't know how, but I don't ask questions. And you can also find us as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed Podcast Collective, UCubed, Facebook group. You can find us on XX Baby in the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. And you can find us on TikTok as Juggalo Bastard Podcast. Nothing's really been put up there lately, but oh well. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings, where you can find every episode ever done. But until next time, folks, thank you for stopping by, and go check out some of the music we talked about, as always. And go check out Alex's writings, please.
I have opinions.
And I'm sure they're, based on tonight, I'm sure they're very entertaining. So go check them out. Have a good one, everybody.